everybody, Chef Britt here with atbbq.com, and today we're making Everything Focaccia grilled cheese. So today I'm going to show you a really simple focaccia recipe that we're going to bake on the YS640S pellet smoker. And then I'm going to show you my techniques for making an amazing grilled cheese using the Le Griddle flat top grill. So we're going to make our dough in the Anchor Shroom Assistant Original Mixer, and we're going to start with 2.5 cups of lukewarm water. Next we're going to follow up with a 1/2 tablespoon of sugar, followed by 1 tablespoon plus 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. We're going to just kick this on low speed until the yeast starts becoming activated and hydrated. While the yeast is becoming activated, we're going to add the salt directly on top of the flour and just disperse it a little bit into there. As with any focaccia recipe, a good amount of oil, a 1/2 cup to be precise here, into our bowl before we start adding our flour. Next, we're going to add 5 cups of flour. For this spiral mixer setup, we're going to add 1 cup at a time to allow the flour to catch onto the dough hook. You may even need to move the arm to just encourage the dough to catch. A couple more cups of flour here. And we're just going to mix this until the dough is fully hydrated. We're not looking to get great gluten development, just enough for it to become a homogeneous mixture. All right, let's stop the mixer and see how it looks. So it's pretty wet, undeveloped, gloopy. That's actually exactly what you want. Let's move on to the next step. So once the dough is mixed, we're going to allow a bulk fermentation to happen. It takes about 1 hour to 1.5 hours, and normally I would just put this lid on here and just let it do its thing. But for the sake of comparison, I'm going to put it in an oiled container to show you what it looks like when it's doubled in size. It really helps if you've got oiled hands, since this is such a sticky dough, to get it out of the mixer. So this is the dough that we just mixed, and then this is the dough that's been sitting very happily, I see, for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. After this bulk fermentation, the next thing we need to do is fold the dough over onto itself. All right, so with greased hands, I'm going to reach in here, and I'm just going to bring the corners over to the opposite end here. The reason why I'm doing this is I'm essentially redistributing the yeast activity. And I'm also creating a better gluten structure. So before we turn out this dough, I'm going to prep my pan here. This is a standard 1/2 sheet pan. It's about 18 by 13 inches. And we'll just get it all greased up nicely here, including the sides. All right, so to turn this out, I'm just going to flip it over directly. And the reason why we oiled this pan was so that we could ease our dough into the shape of the pan. So right now I'm just punching it down and just not trying to fight the dough. And if anything, I'll throw a little bit more oil on top just so that I can stretch it without ripping it. It's probably not going to want to stretch out exactly 100% into the pan, and that's okay. I'll probably just come back about 10 or 15 minutes later and then just encourage it to get to those corners. But for now, I'm just looking for something even and somewhat rectangular. So this dough is now going to go through a secondary fermentation, which takes about 1 hour roughly, maybe even less or maybe even more depending on your environment. But what we're looking for when it's ready is this dough that's filled up to the edges of the pan and is pretty happy, fluffy. I make sure to just come by every now and then and throw a little extra oil just to keep it from drying out. So you can top this with any number of wonderful ingredients, Parmesan cheese, some chopped vegetables, but we're gonna go ahead and just use some everything seasoning. So I'm gonna start by just punching with oiled fingers into this dough so that it doesn't blow out of the pan. If you're worried about any big bubbles showing up, this is a great opportunity to pop them. Okay, next we're gonna liberally apply some of this wonderful Cattleman's Grill everything seasoning. Wonderful garlic, onion, poppy seed, sesame seed flavors. And I am getting liberal with it. All right, so we've got the smoker set to 400 degrees. We're gonna put it on the bottom right side here and let it bake. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes. Let's give this a look-see here. All right, so I can tell just by the way it's pulling off the sides of the pan here that it's pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and temp it just so we know where it sits. And really, 209 is a great temperature. This is really close, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it. Let's take it inside. We've allowed the focaccia to fully cool. Now we're ready to slice into it, and I'm gonna show you how I make my grilled cheese by turning it inside out so we can get maximum flavor. So using a serrated knife, I'm just gonna start by trimming off the edges. I like to do this just so I can square it up a little bit and have an even toasty grilled cheese in the end. So next I'm going to cut some strips out here. Check out this beautiful crumb. It's pretty airy. There's tons of flavor packed in there from the olive oil, but it's tender enough. And you're gonna see how well it crisps up. But look at this wonderful browning on the bottom as well. Okay, next I'm gonna be careful, keeping my hand flat, just working the knife across. All right. So I've got all of this wonderful seasoning in here that might want to fall off a little bit, but that's okay. I've got this untoasted piece on the inside. We're going to place the fillings on the outside and then create our sandwich by putting the untoasted pieces on the outside. I think Munster works really well with these flavors, so that's the cheese I'm using. Any of your favorite cheese is the right one. So if you want to try Swiss or cheddar, that should work best. To prep this for the flat top, I'm going to use a little smattering of mayonnaise here. Now a lot of people like to use butter for their grilled cheeses, but I just think that mayonnaise gives a good flavor and has excellent browning. So I just do enough to get into the crevices of this crumb here. I don't want to go too much, so just a little light spread. We'll flip it. And what's nice is you can kind of go around the cutting board and pick up all those extra bits of seasoning that have fallen off. And then we'll just put this on the pan so we can send it out to the grill. So our grilled cheese planks are prepped. This has been preheating for a while now on medium-low heat. I'm going to use the infrared thermometer just to see where we're at. All right, so we're looking for a temperature between 250 and 275. We're pretty close here, so let's get these bad boys on there. I'm just checking the color on these before I flip. I'm looking for just that twinge of golden brown. Now you might be wondering why I've got such giant sandwiches here. Well, I'm cooking these for a party. And so we're going to cut little slices out to make it more of a snack item to go on a bigger spread of food. So I'm just going to do nice little strips here. What's nice is I didn't have to flip 25 finger-sized grilled cheese sandwiches. Instead, I had 4 flips of my planks there. This will be the great size for sharing to go on your buffet spread for maybe your Super Bowl game. Chef Tom and I were talking about what kind of foods we would serve on a party for the big game, and I think it was actually Tom's idea to serve this. This is actually a recipe that we did for a class recently, and we served it with our charred carrot soup, but this also is a great party recipe. Now to set this up, I'm just going to get this little container here, and we'll get our little sandwiches spread around for a nice display. And we've got maybe about 40 to 50 little sandwiches here. All right, to serve this, we're going to do something that kind of goes against my credibility as a chef, but we're Kansas City Chiefs fans here, so we're going to pour one out for Mahomes, who has a notorious love affair of ketchup. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this in order to enjoy the grilled cheese, but if you're going to use ketchup, you might as well use a really nice one like this Big Rick's Chipotle ketchup. All right, I'm gonna get a bite here, but sorry, Mahomes. I like my grilled cheese just right the way it is. Perfectly crispy, nice and gooey, cheesy. I love the taste of Munster. It works really well with the garlic and the onion and the everything seasoning. And the focaccia, well, you just can't beat fresh baked bread. So luckily this recipe is so easy, I know you can do it. Thanks everybody for joining me today. Head on over to atbbq.com to see all of the products we used today. And if you want to see more recipes, tips, and techniques, check out atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.